Good morning, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are on the face of this very planet. We welcome you to our exciting edition of question and answer, debate, and interactive session this very morning. The day is the 7th day of August in the year of our Most High Elohim 2020, with the time now standing at precisely 5 minutes past 7 a.m. in the morning in the land of Biafra. I welcome each and every one of you, and as I do so, I would encourage you to welcome all those who are around you as well. As you all know, we are simulcasting not just on my Facebook page and on YouTube, but we are also on FM, we are on satellite. Do not forget that those of you who are worried about your data, you can listen to us via any of the app that are streaming this content this very morning. You can download Radio Biafra, you can download TuneIn, you can download Sweet Radio, you can also download Radio Garden. There are a whole host of apps streaming Radio Biafra. You can go there and listen this very morning. As I said, it is low data usage if you're concerned about the data you are using in listening to me on Facebook. I welcome each and every one of you, And as I do so, please, it is very, very important that you let your friends and your family know, you let your neighbors know, you let your uncles know, you let your relatives know, regardless of where they are around the world, because we are being received across the entire 24 time zones on this very planet, because we are not like any other. We are the only people who can be listened to or who can boast of listenership across the entire time zone that you have on this very planet Earth. This morning, please, please, please make sure you have your questions ready. I do not want any complimentary remarks. I want people who have issues, people who have something to say, people who have a meaningful contribution to make, to be able to step up to the plate and do so. And before I give you the numbers through which you can get hold of us this very morning, we must always do the needful. And that needful is that we must pray this very morning before we commence what we are doing. And as always, my name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of IPOB, the whole world over indigenous people of Biafra. And by the very special grace of the Most High Elohim, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra, without further hesitation, we shall proceed to our prayers. And then after that, our lines will be open immediately, and I will begin to receive your questions and your calls. Please, please, please make sure you have a question to ask, and restrict your comments or your contributions to only 2 minutes, please. Very, very important, only 2 minutes. Our lines are not open yet, and I would not encourage anybody to call us at this very time. When our lines are open, I will let you know. I understand the desperation that a lot of people have been trying for very many years to get through. They've not been able to do so. And may I also say that if you are a previous caller, please allow first-time callers to make their contributions today. In other words, if you've called us previously and you have spoken on air, please, I do recommend very strongly that you do not call us this very day, please. Very, very important. People are beginning to call as I expect them to. As I expect them to be. Please do hold on. Our lines are not yet open. When it's open, I will begin to take your calls. We must proceed to pray very, very quickly, and then the lines will be open. And I need meaningful contributions and very searching questions this morning. People are asking all those ideas, all those issues, all those contradictions you may have. This is the time to put them to rest. This is the time to put them to bed, because any question you ask, I will be able to answer this very morning. Once again, we welcome each and every one of you. We are live and we are direct. And how do you know we are live? Is because wherever you are, it is 9 minutes past the hour, regardless of where you are. In Biafra land, it is 9 minutes past 7 a.m. in the morning. Once again, I welcome you, and please may we proceed to pray. Chineke na nke pụrụ m ihe niile, onye kerele igwe maka elu ụwa mana onweghị onye ọbụla kere ya, onye ike niile dị n'ọgbadara aka ya, Chineke nna nke usu niile nke ndị agha, onye mmụọ na mmadụ na-akpọ isi ala nye, onye ndị mmụọ ozi na-agara ozi, anyanwụ ọnwụnwa na kpakpando nna nke ebere dị ngọzi, ha niile na-erubere gị isi dịka ihe niile ikere eke. Ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye na-enweghị mmalite, enweghị ọgwụgwụ, inweghị ụsọtụ, ezi ebube dị ngọzi. Anyị wee na-efe gị, wee na-aja gị mma n'asụsụ eluigwe n'isi ụtụtụ a n'ala nsọ gị bụ Biafra, wee na-akpọku gị, wee na-aja gị mma, wee na-ebuli gị elu, na-asị na onweghị onye dịka gị, eze ndị nsọ. N'ụbọchị nketa onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke igwe, atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro ka anyị onwe anyị na-akagbu, ebumnobi ọjọọ niile nke ọchịchịrị nna nke ebere dị ngọzi, ka ihe gị ga-acha ha niile ga-agbafu. Onye nwe anyị na Chineke na-abịa ka iwe zọpụta anyị n'aka ajọ ihe, n'ihi na ekworo karịrị akarị, ndị iro karịrị akarị, ihe ọjọọ karịrị akarị, ha si ugwu wee na-arịdata, ndị Fulani wee gba anyị okirikiri, wee na-ememila ndị gị nna nke ebere dị ngọzi. Ụwa niile wee gba nkịtị, anyị wee na-eti mkpu, wee na-achọ ndị ga-ewetara anyị enyemaka, kama onweghị onye ọbụla. Ebumnobi anyị n'ụbọchị nketa na obisi ike anyị, onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna dị ngọzi, bụ na ọ bụ gị bụ onye anyị nwe, bụ onye anyị gbabaworo n'ime ya nna nke igwe, dịka isi wee zọpụta ndị Igbo ka ị ga-esi wee zọpụta ọgbọ nke ugbu a. Onye nwe anyị, biko nụ mere anyị ebere ma nụrụ ekpere anyị. Bịa ka iwe memila atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro, bịa ka iwe kagbuo ebumnobi ọjọọ ha niile, bịa ka iwe bulie anyị elu n'ọṅụ, wee nye anyị Biafra ọsịsọ n'ime afọ a ka anyị na-arịọ ya, onye nwe anyị, ka ihere wee bụrụ nke ndị iro, ka ihe gị wee chi ya n'ime ndụ ụmụ mmadụ, ka ọ bụrụ na a ga-esite n'aka Biafra nna nke brede ngozi dịka okwu ọgba ndụ gị si wee dị n'isi ndị na-ebu ndị ji onwe ntụkwasị obi ka Biafra ga-eji wee nweta ihe onye nwe anyị nna nke bi n'igwe biko na anyị wee na-arịọ gị ka iwere n'ụtụtụ na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma nara mbuli elu nara ikpe isi ala n'ihi na o ruru naanị gị ugbu a ma ruo mgbe niile ebi ebi ka anyị na-arịọ gị ise. We have prayed in the language of heaven and we are going to go very speedily to our lines. But please, once again, I would recommend that most of you call us via Skype. It is very, very important that you call us via Skype. And it is IPOB2020 at outlook.com. IPOB2020 at outlook.com. The rest of the numbers are well advertised. I'm sure that most of you do have it. But as I proceed, I will go on to keep repeating them. Once again, I would recommend very strongly that you contact us via Skype, IPOB2020. On Skype, it is called IPOB Biafra at outlook.com. IPOB Biafra if you're looking for it. I do presume that we have a caller on the line. Is that correct? No, we don't. We've lost him. The caller on the line, can you hear me? You are the first caller today. Your name and where you're calling from.
Sir.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. Yes. My name is Faith Ogana Adobe Biafra Queen.
And where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Italy, Genova.
From Genoa in Italy. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. I'm speaking to Jesus Christ of my time. By Mazi, by the grace of Gidigbo, the only man that cured my mental slavery.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Oh my God. Omadike.
Yes, please.
I would like to ask concerning the terrorists Al Qaeda and ISIS coming to Biafra land.
Yes.
These people that is coming to Biafra land.
Please hold on a second, please. If I put you on hold, you stay where you are. I will come to you, please. I'm on a call, and then if you're on hold, please stay where you are. Please go ahead, please. Go ahead.
So these people that is coming to Biafra land, I want to ask: is IPOB, are they going to fight this war, or this war has nothing to do with IPOB? Because I know that these people wants to fight to Fulanize the people in Niger area. So I want to know if this fight has something to do with Biafrans, because what I understand is that we are going to fight for Biafra war, to restore Biafra. If anybody oppose us, or if anybody come to tell us that no, we can't go as indigenous people, we can't leave Nigeria, we must stay, then we can fight to get our land back. So I want to ask these people that is coming to our land now, are we going to fight them, or we are going to allow the people, the nigger people that is calling themselves South East, Southwest, to do the needful by themselves? This is my question, great one.
Please, yes, your question is very, very important, very, very pertinent, very, very relevant. The simple answer is that we are going to do all we can to stop these hordes of the army of darkness from descending upon our land. It is something that we have been talking about for a very long time. I've been warning about this very looming catastrophe that is about to engulf us. Because, as I said before, the British have given the area, the zoo area, Nigeria, they've given it to their favorite pets, their house pets, their house nigger, the Fulani Janjaweed, and they are making it their home base for every Fula person all over the world. What people don't understand is that there is a movement called the National Fulbe Movement. They are on Facebook. And they are working in collaboration with Facebook management, both in the zoo, across the Sahel, and also Facebook headquarters in California. They are called the National Fulbe Movement. If you go to their page, you will see that they are armed. You will see that Facebook has not done anything to take it down because they are receiving huge sums of money from the likes of El Rufai, from the likes of the Sultan of Sokoto. These are the people who are draining the zoo dry. They sell our oil and gas and they use it to bribe people in order to enslave us, and they are coming. We are going to do all we can to resist them. But there is something we must learn.
One more thing, sir.
Go ahead.
I read an article this morning that British has retrieved all their citizens in Nigeria. They retrieved Nigerians' movement not to come in London, and their citizens also to come back home. And those of them that could not come back or maybe stubborn to stay back in Nigeria, they told them the area that they can go to and the area that they can't go to. And they mentioned Niger Delta area.
Yes, the reason being is that it is in the interest of neo-colonialists to make sure that they deplete our numbers and that those at the helm of affairs in Black Africa are those who are loyal to them, those who are their slaves, those who are their glorified messengers. These are the people they want to occupy high offices, and that is why Africa remains poor and will remain impoverished until we do something about it. Not because we hate or despise anybody, not because we are stopping them from extending their sphere of influence right across sub-Saharan Africa. That's not what we are saying. What we are trying to say is that this modern way of subjugating people, this modern way of enslaving people, this modern way of instilling ignorance in the minds of people who claim they are educated is something that we are against. Britain doesn't want anybody to visit the UK right now for the simple reason that they know something is about to happen. They don't want people who are there, because once you are in the UK and there is war going on, or there is this Fulanization or Islamization agenda in full swing, they know you're going to claim asylum, and they know they're not going to say no to you because the place where you come from is a war zone. That is why they are restricting the number of people. Even Dubai have said no. UAE have said no to Nigerians, that they cannot come in. EU have said no to Nigerians. They cannot come in. And I'm sure that USA and Canada will follow suit very shortly, because they understand that a war is imminent. That once these Islamists, they are on the march, the zoo will be turned into a war zone. And everybody in Europe, in America, you are now entitled to claim asylum. After all, you cannot be sent back or deported back. Everywhere is in chaos. That is the reason why they're no longer issuing any visas. That is why they're not allowing anybody to come in, because they know there is something imminent. And we all know it now. It's been announced. Even the US policymakers are now issuing paper after paper, document after document, stating the very obvious. What we've been saying from the beginning, that a full-scale Islamization agenda is now on the cards, and the zoo cannot escape it. Forget those who are living in denial. They can live in denial all they like. But one thing is certain, that the zoo is going to fall. It is going to collapse. Thank you very much, my dear sister, for opening the curtain for us this very morning. I have another caller who happens to be on Skype. I don't know if they're still there, but if they are, if they can hear me, I welcome you to the program. This is Radio Biafra, our phone session this very morning. Can you hear me, please? Your name and where you're calling from, if you may.
Am I online, Mazi?
Of course you are. The whole world is listening. Go ahead.
All right. Oluchukwu Dike, Onye Nnewi from Nnewi, but I'm calling from Finland.
You're calling from Finland, you said?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
All right. I have 3 contributions to make, but I think I should limit it to one for today. And it is about your Twitter followership. So I have been following you on Twitter for the past month, and I have seen your followership number grow from 160-something thousand to I think about 170,000. And I wanted to talk about how we could grow it much more quickly. So take, for instance, the zoo annual budget is actually about 30-something billion euros or dollars, whatever. And I realized that our people in the diaspora, we actually are the people who keep the people in the zoo afloat financially, in the sense that according to real data, our people bring in at least between 20 and 30 billion euros into Nigeria each year. So how about if you can run a broadcast and tell our people in the diaspora that when they are moving money to their relatives and friends in Nigeria, why not tell them that if you want this help, if you want me to assist you with this sum, whatever problem you have, why not say to them, join the movement? Say, for example, you need help from me. That's what I do nowadays. If you tell me you have a problem in the zoo, I tell you, okay, you want me to assist you. And I will explain to you that your poverty is actually not God-made, that it's thanks to your being a part of the zoo. So if you want help, join the movement that's going to liberate you. In exchange for joining Twitter and tweeting with our leader, I'm going to give you whatever help you're looking for. I think if our people can do it, because money is power, and as you know, money is useless in the hands of black people, but white people know how to weaponize their money and their resources. So if our people in the diaspora could stop gifting money to our impoverished friends and relatives in the zoo and say, I will help you, but this is the condition, it's the least you can do. Join the movement, or you have a smartphone, join Twitter, start retweeting. In exchange, if you want 100,000, 50,000, 20,000, then I will help you with it. If we can do it, if you can run a broadcast on this, I believe that we can do so much with the billions that we move into the zoo, because without those billions, actually, the zoo is going to turn into, I don't know, I have no word for it, but I have the belief that it's our money from the diaspora that keeps our people alive. When the zoo has the annual budget of 30-something billion, and our people are bringing in 20-something billion, so essentially, we are richer than the zoo itself. So our people need to weaponize their money and use it to support the movement. That's what I have to say for today.
Thank you very much for that. And you are absolutely right. You are correct. That is something we don't understand. Without people in the diaspora, without our people in the diaspora, there will be no zoo. Without the amount of money, the help we are moving into our land, every place, right across the board, not just Biafrans or Duduwa people and some sprinkling of those from Middle Belt who are in the diaspora as well. Without all that money flowing in through MoneyGram, through Western Union, through all these other plethora of money remittance platforms, the zoo will not exist. It will collapse. That is something we don't understand. And we are going to make it absolutely essential and compulsory that if you need this help from people who are in the diaspora, you must also try and do something to alleviate the very mess that you're in. And as I have said repeatedly, if we flood social media, of course, we understand the restrictions, that Facebook is trying to place on us, and we are working very hard to develop alternative platforms, alternative social media platform through which we can continue to communicate freely, because obviously the Fulanis have bought over Facebook and they're doing all they can to promote Fulani violence and Janjaweedism against innocent populations. It is an accusation that I'm making because even before I came on air this morning, I had one of my posts removed. They wrote to me and said we are removing it because it is in breach of our community standard. And I'm asking them today, the same community standard that the Fulani Fulbe movement is not breaching. They are displaying weapons. You can see them there very clearly. Their page hasn't been brought down. But anytime we talk about freedom, anytime we talk about ways to move ourselves out of the crippling poverty and devastation that the zoo has come to represent, Facebook will come against us. What you're saying, my dear sister, is absolutely correct. If you want help from us, then you must be on Twitter. You must be on other social media platforms so we can continue seamlessly the propagation of this very gospel. Because if we come out of the mess from the zoo, then everybody will stand to benefit from it. Everybody will stand to benefit from it. As I have said, if you are a regular caller, please, I do recommend that you don't call us today. Please allow people who have not called before to try and contribute to what we are doing. Please, very, very important. And I repeat, it's IPOB 2020, IPOB 2020 at Outlook.com if you want to join us on Skype. Very, very important. Please, I have a caller on the line. I don't know if that caller can hear me. The caller, can you hear me, please? The caller on the line, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
And your name and where you're calling from, please?
I'm calling from Indonesia. I'm from Imo State in Biafra land.
Yes. And what is your name?
My name is Mazi Auze.
Yes, please, go ahead. We're listening. From Indonesia, go ahead.
Okay, sir. What I want to ask is, I know that for sure Biafra will come.
Of course it will.
But my question now is, in other developed countries, if you want to go and look for a job or apply for work, they won't look at your appearance, your dressing, your hairstyle. They will only look after your capability, your capacity.
Yes.
But in the zoo, it is not like that. Even when you have all the qualifications, they will still ask you for your experience. When you just came out from the university and you don't have any experience. So I want to be reassured that when Biafra come, those people in that kind of situation and those people that doesn't have the opportunity to go to school, but they have something to offer, but they don't have the platform, and those that have something to offer and they don't have the platform, what are their hope that when Biafra come, they are going to be recognized and given opportunity to develop and help the new nation? I want to know and be reassured.
You don't need any reassurance. What we are saying is that we are trying to build a country that is not like any other in Africa, and joblessness will be a thing of the past, and it will be a level playing field. There are work that those without degree can also do. We are going to develop the 4 critical, or should I say essential areas of craft. There's something called craft. It is called woodwork. It is called stoneworks. It is called glassworks. And then, which other one is that? It is called, also, no, in fact, it is 3. Woodwork. No, yes. Is it 4 or 3? Woodwork, metalwork, stoneworks, and glassworks. It is 4. I repeat, woodwork, glassworks, metalwork, and stoneworks. Very, very essential. We are going to build houses with stones, with rocks, not with block, not the block you see every day. And those who are going to undertake those very critical and, should I say, essential work in terms of the overall architectural presentation of Biafra, most of them may not have degrees, but they will be meaningfully employed. We are going to have plumbers. We are going to have people who will work on our drainage system. They may not go to university, but they're going to be well paid. Some of them will receive more pay than those who are graduates, because that is the way it is. Everything will be driven by demand and supply, but nobody will be left behind. That I can assure you. The political economy phase of what we are going to accomplish in Biafra land will be so compelling that the rest of Africa will be forced to copy from us. Nobody will be unemployed as it used to be in the past. In our land, many, many years ago, before the white man came, there was no unemployment. Everybody had something they were doing. Nobody, that's why we never had any beggars. And we are going to return to that. Everybody will be meaningfully employed based on merit. Nobody is going to get any comparative advantage over the other because of their status, their position, or who they know. Everything will be a level playing field. That I can assure you. The same way I don't allow or encourage the building of any cabal within IPOB is how Biafra land is going to be. There will be no cabal, no old boys network. Everything is going to work the way it's supposed to be, which is if you merit something, then you will occupy that very position. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you very, very much. We have another caller on the line, if I'm not mistaken. This very caller, can you hear me? We are live and we are direct and the whole world is listening. Give us your name and where you're calling from, please, if you may. Can you hear me? No, you cannot hear us. Your line is not stable. You cannot hear us. We are now going to the line to see who else is there. The caller on Skype, can you hear me? Good morning. Your system is not turned down and I cannot listen to you. If your system is noisy, if I can hear any background noise, if I can hear my voice on the background, then I cannot take your call. I've warned many times. If you're calling, you must step away from your listening device. Once you're close to your listening device, I cannot and will not, in all sincerity, be able to take your call. We have a caller on the line. This caller, can you hear me? Your name and where you are, please.
Hello, our Lion King.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from, if you may.
My name is Chukwuemeka Chukwuemeka. I'm from Annam. My name is Nnamdi. I'm calling from India.
From India, please go ahead.
Our Lion King, I have 3 things to say. One is to tell the whole Biafran the dream I had 2 months ago. Second is to ask you why our people are not speaking our language. Biafrans are not speaking their native language, just like others, like Oduduwa and Fulani, Hausa and Fulani. Second is to tell our people the things you are talking about the Fulani taking our land. So let me start from my dream. Can you hear me, our Lion King?
Yes, I can hear you very well. Please cut out, leave the dream alone and ask your question, please. The dream, you can inbox me, you can leave me a voice note and I will listen to it. Just go straight to your question. Leave out the dream, just tell us, you ask your question. That is what people want to hear. People wish to be educated about what we are doing. So ask your question and I'll be able to answer it. Leave the dream, you can send that to me on a private inbox or voice note at some time in the future. Please go ahead. Your question, please.
Why is it that our people are ashamed of speaking our native languages, but Yorubas and our Hausas, they speak their native languages?
I don't think that is the case, because if you ask all those people, they will also tell you. If you ask our Oduduwa friends, they will tell you that the various ethnic groups in Biafra land, especially the Igbos, are fond of always speaking their language, even when they are in front of people. The thing is that we have stopped developing. You are right in a way, because we have stopped adding new words. What people don't understand is that in every language around the world, especially the languages that I would say are advanced, those that are being studied, there are new words being added to the Oxford English Dictionary almost every year. New words are being created. English is very virulent. It is very strong. It is growing. The same thing with French. The same thing with Russian and all other major languages around the world. The problem that we have is that there was a demonization of our language during colonialism. It was part of the plan to make you feel inferior, part of the plan to make you feel that everything you have, everything you are is awful. It's just like bleaching cream that people put on their skin. That is the way it is. When we were attending school, kindergarten, it was called in those days, and primary school, if you speak Igbo language, you'll be flogged. If you speak Igbo language, you will be disciplined. I remember at Government College Omoahe, if you speak Igbo language, people will look at you funny. You'll be laughed at. In fact, you'll be disciplined, as a matter of fact. So we are made to feel ashamed of our language. And growing up, you grow up with that mentality that when you speak your language, there is in fact that your language is something to be ashamed of. But unfortunately, should I say fortunately, for the Yorubas, for instance, the Yoruba language never went out of fashion. They felt very comfortable with it. Whereas where we come from, we are told that speaking our native language is very, very horrible. But one thing I can assure you is this. In our new Biafra, the lingua franca for the first 20-25 years is going to be English language. And then after that, an indigenous language will be developed, encompassing every dialect, every tongue we have in Biafra land. It is as simple as that. That's what we are going to do. And as you well know, I have granted interviews on many occasions speaking our native language. And I spoke it without adding one word of English. And that is what I will encourage people to do. It's a very beautiful language that we have, be it Bibio, be it Efik, be it Kolokama, which is the dominant Izon language. And again, our problem is that we have too many languages because we don't have a history of conquest. The reason why sometimes you have or let's say in the British Isles, you have English dominating in the British Isles, is because England went and conquered, no, would I say conquer, but they, over many years, they dominated Scotland, they dominated Wales and the Irish. So English became very dominant. You know, if you go to Europe where such dominance was not allowed, you have a French language, you have Flemish language spoken in Belgium, you have the Germans, you have the Dutch language, you have even the Dutch, which is what is spoken in Holland. You have all these different languages. The thing is that you have to be proud of your language. And the way to be proud of it is that teachers should be able to teach it, people should be allowed to speak it, and mind you, in Biafra land, in this new Biafra, we are going to have a confederation, which means even within Biafra land, you're going to have the Igbo nation in Biafra land. You are going to have the Bibio nation in Biafra land. You're going to have the Efik nation in Biafra land. You're even going to have the Ugoja Ejagan people in Biafra. It's going to be a nation. Even Isoko will be a nation in Biafra land. Urobo will be a nation in Biafra land. Ishekiri will be a nation in Biafra land. And the land of Idu Igodomigodo will be a nation in Biafra land. And they are going to make their own laws in their own local language. So we are going to have some kind of revival. Our language is going to come back, that I can assure you. What we are suffering now is the devastating effect of colonialism and neo-colonialism. But with the coming of Biafra, we're going to sweep all that away. A very, very intelligent question you asked, and thank you very much for that. Once again, we are live and we are directing. Most of our calls we are taking via Skype. This very morning, we are taking it via Skype. And we want people to know that you can call us on Skype and we'll take your call. Please, your name and where you're calling from, please. No, your line is not strong enough. It is not strong enough. Unfortunately, your line is not strong enough. So we are unable to take your call because your line is not strong enough. This other caller on the line, can you hear me, please? Can you hear me? No. I can hear a noise on the background. I will not take your call. The caller on the line, can you hear me? No. Again, there is a noise on the background. Once I hear my voice, a noise on the background, I will not take your call. Your name, please, and where you're calling from, the caller on Skype. We are live and we are direct, and the world is listening.
Good morning, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Good morning.
My name is Odinipa Kwako. I am from Umwezanam in Anambra West Local Government. I am calling you from New Delhi, India.
New Delhi in India. Please go ahead. We are listening. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. I want to say something. I want to tell our people in Nigeria that they should not participate in all these nonsense protests in Nigeria. I want to tell them that the protests in Nigeria have nothing to do with Biafra struggle. All this so-called revolution now, it's none of our business. Our own focus should be on restoring Biafra. Please, every Igbo, every Biafran to stay off the protest. It's none of our business. They are struggling they are fighting for their one Nigeria. It has nothing to do with our own struggle. So if you want to go to protest, please stay back. Don't go, because these are the same people that threw good luck out of power in 2012 and 15. The same people that started this process. They were the one that were the other time in Lagos. They were the one in Abuja calling good luck all sorts of names. I am not saying that Goodluck is the perfect man, but he is our brother. So they did it in 2012. They should do it again this time. We shouldn't participate in it. Thank you, my leader. That's my own contribution this morning.
Thank you very much for that, and a very succinct one at that as well. Thank you very, very much. The fact of the matter is that we need to encourage anything that would highlight the ineptitude, the crass misgovernance happening in the damnable Zoological Republic. That is the only reason why I would support it. And I don't want us to judge people by their own standards. We should always judge people, by our own standards, so to speak. We should always judge people by what they do. And if that thing they're doing is geared towards achieving the same goal, then we should encourage it. What I would like to say is that if there is any civil disobedience, if there is anything geared towards highlighting the very deplorable state of the zoo, if there are things that people are doing that will bring to the fore or to global attention the misgovernance, the corruption, and the evil happening in the zoo, then we must encourage it. That is the only reason why we must support it. I know that some of them were against us when we were protesting. I know that some of them even encouraged or sided with the zoo to come down very heavily upon us the time we took it up, because we see things in advance that people cannot see. We knew that this very project called Zoo Nigeria is not going to work, and we did something about it. Now they have woken from their slumber, so we say good morning to them. We are not going to say we would not engage with them, of course not, because they are doing something also very vital to try to highlight the mess that the zoo is in. Very, very important, of course. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much, my dear brother, for that. Very, very encouraging. I have a caller again who happens to be on Skype. Can you hear me, please? Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Okuchuku. I'm calling from Federal Capital Territory, Zoo, Nigeria.
You're calling from the Zoological Republic. Please go ahead.
Yes, in capital letters. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to thank you for your good work you have been doing all this while. I pray that God will strengthen you and empower you.
He said?
The second addition is this, based on the language, this Igbo language we all face.
Not just Igbo language. There are many languages within Biafra. Listen. Can you hear? I can hear you. Yes, I want you to listen to me. There are many languages in Biafra land, not just Igbo language. We have other languages as well, and we must recognize that. Very, very important. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So where I operate, as in, when a Yoruba person comes to the office and identify his brother with the same language, they seem to be happy and joyful. They will blow the language as long as they like. Same thing happens to the Hausa people when they come, you understand? But you hardly see Igbo people. When they come, they will be speaking English. Even when they try to make communication with the Igbo language, they will still switch back to that English. They find it difficult to identify their people with their language. You understand? So that has been a problem. I think it has been a long-term problem for us that we see our language as language that does not even exist. Even feel ashamed, like you said, you feel ashamed to even speak our language.
Because we are a conquered people. Once you are a conquered people, there is something, a bit of an inferiority complex that goes with it. We became inferior 1970 after the war. That is why everybody is doffing their heart for this very generation of IPOB, for what we have done, for what we have been able to do and will continue to do until Biafra is restored. We had no pride, no sense of belonging. We felt very ashamed because we were a defeated people. We were told that we are defeated and that we are going to be subjects of our overlords forever and ever. But they did not reckon or factor in the fact that IPOB will emerge. And here we are today, very proud of who we are. I'll give a very simple example. I was in Abuja when I was arrested. Not once, but twice. I went to DSS office when they took me to their dungeon. And when they bring me up for interview, in the offices, you can't even tell who is an Igbo man because most of them were ashamed of who they were. Some of them dress like Hausa. They speak Hausa language. In fact, if you speak Igbo to them, they will tell you they don't understand what you're saying. It is that defeatist mentality. These are a people who are defeated. They are struggling to survive. They are looking for ways to feed their families. Their overriding priority is how they and themselves, their children, can survive, not about our collective well-being as a people. That was what happened. But thankfully, we have now changed that very narrative. Thankfully, we are now very proud of who we are. And as I said, as soon as Biafra is restored, fluency in our language will become very compulsory. In fact, if you're not fluent in our language, then you will find it very, very difficult to advance in any field or any endeavor of your choice. Very, very important because, as I said, the lingua franca will be our local language wherever we are domiciled. Overall, the overarching language will be English for the benefit of those who may have difficulties crossing from one language over to the other. But in Igbo land itself, as I expect it to be in Efik and in Ibibio, the main local language, the main lingua franca for that nation will be the dominant dialect of those people. So we are bringing everything back. That is why we are doing what we are doing. because we want to make things right for our people. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you very, very much, my dear brother. We are live and we are direct and the whole world is listening. The caller on Skype, can you hear me? Give us your name and where you are, please. Good morning to you.
From Padova, Italy here.
Padova in Italy, please go ahead.
Yes, Mazi, thank you so much for the work you are doing for us, and Biafrans are very grateful to you and to Chukwukika Biama for bringing you up at this right moment, because without you by this time, we don't know where we would be by now. Maybe we will run into this useless analysis that they publish the other nonsense talk the other day, thinking that they will be the savior by now, not knowing that we are running into their hand for we to be fried into the frying pan with a boiling oil.
Of course.
So, Mazi, I want to contribute on one thing about the way a black man reasons. Mazi, we could recall back. I don't know if it was Jubril that said this word, or maybe the late Muhammad Buhari that said it. That this Boko Haram, this Islamic jihadi terrorists, that these people are foreigners. Okay, you say that these people are foreigners, but you are graduating foreigners into, and they are recruiting them into the national security, like the army, the police force, the navy, the DSS, the EFCC. I mean, Nigerians. These people that call themselves Nigerian, like the black people? What is really their problem? They told them that these people are foreigners, killing you, and these foreigners are being recruited into the armies and being sent into their local villages to act as if they are protecting you. The same thing that they are saying that the Al-Qaeda and ISIS are trying to come down to the southern part of the zoo, which is Biafra land. Who are the people? Okay, now, as they are saying that they are coming down, and we are hoping that these people will be coming down. No, they are foot soldiers who has been recruited into the army and police. They will send them down to act as if they are coming to keep peace and order in that southern part. But no,
I have said this before, and I will say it again, and I want you to listen very carefully, and also our people all over the world. The people you call Nigeria Army and Nigeria Police, these are the protection squad for the terrorists. That is something that people don't understand. You started by alluding to the very defective way of reasoning of a black man, and I concur entirely and totally with you. I agree with you. That's what we've been preaching from day one. There is something fundamentally wrong with the way a black brain processes information, and that very problem is evident in our day-to-day environment. It is evident in the way we live. It is evident in the fact that we are not able to imbibe or inculcate new ways of doing things. Other people are moving forward. Yeah, I'm sure in some places, even in Africa, people are still building mud houses. Do you understand? Despite the availability of raw materials that will enable you to make modern, livable construction, if you understand what I mean, there is something, as soon as black people understand this, that the way they process information is flawed, the better for everybody. And I don't want to subscribe to the view that black people are by nature very inferior. But one thing I tend to find is that the way we reason makes us inferior to every other race. Even Joe Biden said it. I think he made a slip in the comment he was making yesterday. In fact, he even came out to say that Hispanics are more diverse than African American populations in America. The problem is that we don't reason. Reasoning is not one of our strongest points. And I put it to you, one minute they say the fighters are foreigners. The next minute they say, oh, they are our misguided brothers. Nobody actually knows which is which. And every blessed day, You have people wake up from sleep, they go to work, they come back, knowing, in fact, some of them don't even know who they are fighting. Are you fighting foreigners, or are you fighting disgruntled elements, Fulani reactionaries? Who are you fighting? The El Rufai is giving money to people he called Fulanis from outside, coming to southern Kaduna to come and kill people. And people go on with their daily lives as if things are normal. When I sit back and I look at, if you sit back, detach yourself from the zoo and look at what is happening in the zoo, the way people reason, the way people behave, believe you me, if I am a white person, I'll be racist towards black people because of the way we reason. There is something wrong with us. Now, who are you fighting? Now, why is it, I keep asking this question, why is it that the army finds it so easy to go and attack protesters, to kill them, to jail them? But there are bandits. Nobody's sending them to jail. Nobody is fighting them. Nobody is confronting them. On one hand, you're saying we don't have soldiers to fight Boko Haram. We've done our best. We don't have soldiers to go and protect the communities in southern Kaduna. But you have soldiers to go and disrupt protesters. You have soldiers who can go and kill and shoot and man checkpoints where none is needed. So you are right. That is something, and we will keep trying every blessed day until a black man changes the way he reasons. Because if we cannot, believe you me, if we cannot get into the brain of black people and reset it to reason critically and properly, we are not going anywhere. We can have 100 Biafras all over the world, nothing will happen. We can create Biafra from now till the kingdom come, nothing will happen. Now I'll give you a very simple example. You have somebody who, of course, I know that some of them were fathered by Fulani people during, during, and after the war. But what I'm trying to say is that you have people. Somebody mentioned Ohaneze a short while ago. I don't want to dwell on it. But here you have people who come out to say in the open, we are fighting for the survival of our people, that we are living in very critical and dangerous times. That is what comes out of their mouth. And we are doing all we can to fix it. And you say to them, go and do this to prove that you are serious about what you're saying beyond mere words and mere rhetoric. They cannot do it. They are more interested in scoring cheap points to say, oh, you came to us, we didn't come to you. Something so childish, so meaningless, so inconsequential. Now you begin to wonder, if these people are the type of people you refer to as elders, then I wonder what the youths will be like. But thankfully for us, the youths are more reasonable than the so-called elders. And that is a fact of life. They know that the zoo has never worked. They know that still on the way that black people reasons, this time around our own people, they know that Buhari, the dead Buhari, took over power in 1983 through a coup d'etat because they knew that Ekweme was going to succeed Shagari. Everybody knows that. But the same people, they'll be shouting, Igbo president, Igbo presidency, as if that Ekweme, who also fought to bring Abacha down, did not go to contest. It was the same Igbo people that came out and campaigned against Ekweme. Oju Zokalu was one of them. Oju Zokalu came out in Jos and campaigned against Ekweme, his own brother, from going forward. Nobody came out and campaigned against Ekweme from going forward. But these are the same people that will come back to you and tell you that it's our turn, we must be president. But when your brother came out to become president, you campaigned against him. So when I look at all these contradictions and the way that a black person reasons and processes information, I become very, very concerned. That is why we are teaching, that's why we are lecturing, that is why we are educating, that is why we are tutoring our people to make them reason differently from black people. If you reason like a typical black man, your life will end up in failure and as a very miserable experience. Let us go to the line again. Thank you very much for your call. I enjoyed it. Thank you very, very much. We are live and we are direct and the whole world is listening, of course. Who wouldn't listen to Radio Biafra? We are live and every human being wants to grow in reasoning. And by listening to us, you will reason like a human being. The caller on the line, can you hear me? Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Okay, my name is Madabuchi. I'm calling from Philippines.
From Philippines, can you speak up? Go close to your microphone, please, and speak up. Madabuchi from Philippines, okay. We are hearing you. Please go ahead.
Before I start, I want to say thank you
Why is your line fading? Why is it fading and coming? It fades and then it comes. Is anything happening in the Philippines? Why is it fading and coming?
Can you hear me clearly now?
No, it fades and it comes. It fades and it comes. I need it to be very, very constant. I need it to be consistent. That way we can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Now go ahead.
Okay, let me start by saying there is a saying, right?
No, it is not working. Please, it is not working. The caller on the line, can you hear me?
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Please, your name and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Eruga Mechi Timothy. I'm from Iziama Ubakala, Ubahe. Umahia province of Biafra land.
Yes.
I'm a coordinator here in the city of Barcelona.
In Barcelona.
One of the coordinators.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get close to you. I've been trying to reach you. I don't have a question. I only want to speak with you if it's possible. I have an information that needs your attention. So
then message me after this through Skype. Send me a message and I will call you. If you send me a message, I am going to call you. Send me a message after this. Say I called and I have something to tell you and I will call you back. I do call people back when they call me and leave a message. I do return most of the calls, I can assure you. And I do that personally. I don't get my secretary to do it or any of my PAs. I do it myself. So I will call you back. Try and send me a message, my dear brother. Thank you very much. Good to hear somebody from Obakala. These are our people. The same place that I come from, because after Ibeku, you have Olokoro or Ibeji, as the case may be, which is Odomohe, and then you have Obakala. The same people. Wonderful, wonderful people from Obakala. Very good people. Thank you very much for calling. We are live and we are direct. We have another caller on the line. This caller, can you hear me? Your name and where you're calling from, please.
hello.
Yes, please. Your name and where you're calling from. I'm talking to you. Yes, go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Mr. Okere Chinoso, my leader.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling you from the great Biafra land of Imo State.
Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
I really would, first of all, love to commend your courageous, your doggedness, and the zeal, what is it called? The work God has given you to really get this Biafra.
All of us will get it, not just me. I can't get Biafra alone. All of us will get it. All of us working together in IPB.
Our leader, and we all look up to you. Every sincere, genuine, committed, and devoted son. Every indigenous and indigenous of Biafra land. We all look up to you. And we really believe that with the grace to God have placed upon your head, certainly it will come to pass.
You see?
A lot has been happening down here. A lot. I would have loved to communicate this in our dialect, but for the benefit and purpose of other people listening, I will speak English, because that is not my mother tongue. Our head is home.
But the world is listening, and we want to enlighten them. We want to bring our plight to their attention. So you speak in the language they will hear and understand, which is English. Please go ahead.
Okay, sir. First of all, I bring one or two reports before I now make my speech known. Here in Imo State, precisely about Rural Road, the way the Air Force and the military intimidate, harass.
They will intimidate, they will harass because you are under occupation. That is something our people don't understand. The disproportionate amount, or should I say number of Janjaweed security officers present or personnel in our land goes to show you that we are under occupation. Our people are very slow to wake up to this reality, but it is coming. They have come to take over our land, to subjugate and to enslave us. And sadly, Britain is supporting them. That is something our people don't understand. The same Britain that gave us Anglican Church, the same missionaries that came with their Bible, Catholic Church, Apostolic Church, they are the ones supporting Islam to overrun us. That is something that people don't understand. I have said this many times. If it were to be a Muslim population undergoing or suffering the same level of subjugation we are being forced to endure in our land, CNN, BBC will be aflame with comments. They will be enraged. I have given this example a million times over. Look at Rohingya. Anytime that Muslims are touched, there is an uproar. Because the owner of CNN is a Muslim. People don't know this. The man is from I think he's from Qatar. He bought CNN from Ted Turner, the former owner. People don't know this. That Muslims are the owners of CNN. And I will also say, even in the UK, that BBC will always support Islam against Christians. These are the things that people don't understand because, of course, as we were discussing a bit earlier, the brain of a black man do not have the time or the capacity to process complex information. Anytime you see a checkpoint, a roadblock, go there, you will see that these are people, they are paving the way for the jihadists who are coming. They are coming to take over our land. It's not a question of if, it is only a question of when. And if we are thinking, only an idiot will think that UK will rise up and say something, that the British government will rise up and say, oh, what is happening in Nigeria is not good. The killing of innocent people, they will never say it. Because it is in their interest to make sure, that is the agreement they reached with the Fulanis before they handed over power in 1960. Are you going to be loyal to us? Fulani said yes. Are you going to be our slave? Are you going to be our house nigger? They said yes. And that is exactly what they're doing. Because I keep saying this, there is nowhere else on this earth that the level of insecurity that people are witnessing in the damnable zoological republic will be occurring and you will not hear the UN say something about it. These are the things that people don't understand. Every day we try to educate them. They don't understand. As if to say that most of our people were fathered by the Janjaweed during and after the war. I don't understand it. Why they cannot reason. Everybody you see on the road, be it customs, be it police, be it the army, they are there doing the work of the caliphate. That is what they're doing. There is nothing anybody can do about it. Unless you join IPOB, unless you join this very movement and do all that you can to enable us to stop this level of garbage that is going on in our land. They pretend they know, they claim they know, but they know nothing. People don't know this. It's a very simple game plan. If you are a student of history, and I would recommend, even if you're not, go and start studying history. Look at the history of Islamic conquest. And I ask you once again, why is it that, ask yourself this question, why is it that Facebook allowed Fulani people to open up a page on their platform displaying guns and listing out all the countries where they are going to take over? And Facebook allowed them to succeed. Or should I say, allowed them to continue to do what they're doing. These are the things that people don't understand. There is something wrong with the way a black man reasons. Something even worse with the way a southern, people that live in the south of the zoo, the way we reason. The caller on the phone, can you hear me?
Can you pick my call?
I've taken your call, your name and where you are, please. Millions are calling. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Onyekachi Umejua.
And where are you from?
I'm calling from the UK.
You're from the UK. Where are you from in Biafra land?
I'm from Ozitem.
Ozitem, go ahead. Make your point.
Okay, I want to ask a question.
Go ahead.
From what I heard from online about from somebody.
Yes.
He said, I wouldn't like to mention them. He said he formed IPOB, then you did a mutiny and take over IPOB from him.
Is that the question any sensible, reasonable person will ask this morning, in your opinion? Are you a gossiper? Do you believe in gossip?
That's why I want.
Do you believe? I asked you a simple question. Do you believe in gossip?
I've been following you since 2015. So
you have been following, and an idiot came from somewhere to make a comment, and you deem it necessary to ask me a very stupid, silly comment by one inconsequential idiot, and you want to ask me such a ridiculous question to the hearing of the whole world, and you live in the UK, and all you have been able to achieve in the UK is to learn how to gossip, to recycle gossip. Of what benefit is this very ridiculous question you're asking? Of what benefit is it to us? A lying idiot came to you and told you, if they formed IPOB, how come everywhere you go to they know it is us who formed IPOB? How come? Have you asked the idiot how he came about that claiming he formed IPOB? Have you asked that very fool when he was commissioned by Biafra government in exile to do a job for them and he cornered it? He went back and registered an NGO with the Corporate Affairs Commission and put his name there as a trustee. He was a lawyer. He was commissioned to do a job. He went there and he put his name. Are you aware of that? Are you aware of that? All you bunch of useless, hopeless gossipers, go back to the idiot and ask him this question. Do you know who is Dr. Madu? Do you know who is Dr. Achike? Ask the fool. Now listen to me. I have listened to you. Listen to me. Go and ask the fool if he knows about Professor Nekwachi, those who commissioned him to work for the Biafra movement. He went back home and he cornered it himself and floated Bilie Human Rights Initiative. When we started this movement, did anybody hear about IPOB until we came? It was Bilie, which I promoted on this very platform, until he asked me and told me at number 30 Bannister House in London, in the presence of Uchemefo, in the presence of Dr. Egemba, said to me that Rochas Okorocha should be allowed to join what we are doing. I told him to go to hell over my dead body. Did the idiot tell you that? He will not tell you. A bunch of useless, hopeless gossipers all over the place. Ndara, and we're in the UK. All you can learn in all your years in the UK is how to recycle gossip. Go online and check who formed IPOB. They will tell you. I have told you the group he formed, Bilie Human Rights Initiative. They don't exist. As I told him, they will not exist. By the time we are done with them, nobody will remember their name. And that is the case today. If you come against IPOB, you are finished. You are dead. You are nothing. You will spend the rest of your life gossiping and chatting rubbish, and nobody will take note of you. Simple as that. The caller on the line, can you hear me, please? Your name and where you're calling from.
I can hear you, sir.
Please, your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Madabuchi. I'm calling from Philippines.
Yes, you called earlier and your line was messing up. Please go ahead.
Okay, sir. I was trying to make an adage in Igbo land. That's all.
No, your line is still the same. It comes and it goes. It's like a radio wave. It comes and it goes, and it cannot aid us in what we are doing this very morning. Let me go to the other line, please. Then the caller on the line, your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yeah, Director, good morning.
Good morning to you.
My supreme leader, please, I want to ask a question, please. My name is Agut Kwemek. I'm calling from Belgium.
Yes, from Belgium. Go ahead.
Yes. So please, I want to act like that stupid guy that asked that question. All these people, how are we going to kill them? Are we going to kill them or just kill them publicly? Please,
no.
That's my question.
No. As soon as Biafra comes, we are going to have a place, a gossip corner where gossipers can go and gossip. We are going to build a park. We will decorate it very well. And we'll put all the famous gossipers, we'll put their statues there. I will ask them to go there and be gossiping their lives away. We cannot do anything to them. In every society, you are bound to have idiots within it. You are bound to have those that want to work for the enemies. It's as simple as that. Imagine type of question, something you can find out online. Go online and say, what is IPOB? Who founded IPOB? Instead of that, you're listening to gossip. The same way that Wazurike was telling people that he founded Radio Biafra. Yes, I established Radio Biafra with the help of Mazop in 2009. That same 2009, they stopped funding Radio Biafra, and that Radio Biafra went moribund. It went extinct.
Okay.
And 2012, I resurrected Radio Biafra with my own funds. As simple as that. And people are still talking rubbish. I don't know what is wrong with people that they're so daft. They can't reason very well.
Since 2012, I have been a member of this struggle since 2012. So we know everything. Thank you, my director.
Thank you. And bless you too. Thank you very much. People are following. Those from time immemorial, they are following. An idiot will come instead of listening contributing, oh, how do we free ourselves from the Al Qaeda, ISIS, Boko Haram combination coming into our land? You woke up in the morning and the only question that comes to your mind is somebody gossips to me that they formed IPOB. Can you believe such crap? Unbelievable. The caller on the line, can you hear me, please?
My leader, I greet you from the city of Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, thank you very much. The world is listening. Give us your name.
My name is Mazi. I am from Oberu in Olu, Biafra land.
Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
And I am living in the city of Holland, and of course an agitator to make sure that the zoo falls from the city of Holland. My leader, thank you for having you today.
Thank you very much for calling. Go ahead.
My comment is a lot of people have been calling on my platform and asking me what measure we are going to take against the enemy, the wall of Jericho, which is people like Ohanes and Debo. So I decided today to be at home to get some information from you, because I think there is a need to let Akan die.
Yes.
So that we can move forward. You remember, my leader, I just want to say faster, there is a time when the wall of Jericho becomes a problem to the people to move, and the wall of Jericho has to be brought down for us to move forward. And I think you have held us for a long time, and I think our cleansing has to start from the home. So this is what I want to hear from you, what you think about the Ohanes and Ndibo, so that we can take tremendous action. I think it is better to deal with household enemy so that we can know where we are going to. My leader, I'm listening to you for the answer.
Thank you very much. We are not going to touch them. We pray for them to repent. That's all. And I thought they had repented. That was why we agreed to a meeting with them. But I can see there's still some more work that needs to be done. And that work will be done. We are praying for them to repent from their sins. So we don't want to kill anybody or touch anybody. But all we are praying for is that they repent from their sins. And we remain prayerful that all of them will repent from their sins. Thank you very, very much for that. We have a caller on the line. This caller, can you hear me? Your name and where you're calling from, please.
My leader, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I greet you, my leader. My name is Prince Sunday Nnamdi.
And where are you calling from?
From Kanu.
Nnamdi, where are you calling from?
I am calling you from United Arab Emirates.
UAE. Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Yeah. My leader, first of all, it's a great privilege for me speaking to you direct here. I must honor that. Thank you so much, my leader.
Thank you.
My leader, please, I have three things to say. One, two is a question. Then why the other one is a contribution of what you said last time. My first question is this: as in Biafra land, I can understand that we have a lot of different tribes and different languages.
Yes.
I want to know: are we going to have a general language that it must be composed that everybody will learn? Because if I may say, in Ghana, let me use Ghana as an example. I stand to be corrected if not so. There's a tribe and the different languages in Ghana, but in Ghana there's a general language that they can speak. Everybody, a foreigner will not know, but as long as you're a Ghanaian, you will understand what they're saying. So are we going to have a general language that we buy the whole Biafran? Even in school, it will be taught in our schools. That is number one question.
And the answer to that is yes. The answer to that is yes. There's going to be a lingua franca developed. But remember that Biafra land will be a confederation. And those confederating units will also have the right to secede, to leave Biafra should they wish to do so. Because we're not going to nobody's holding anybody hostage or prisoner. If tomorrow morning Izon wants to be free and want to have their own independence, all well and good, we will all attend and celebrate and drink and dance and eat with them. That's how it's going to be.
Okay.
The same way it is in our villages. When your village divides and want to be autonomous from the from yourselves, then everybody is happy. We go, we celebrate, we have fun. It's as simple as that. So if we have a Biafra that after 25 years remains intact and nobody wants to leave, then a lingua franca will be worked upon and developed that every child will then have to study in school. That becomes the lingua franca, and that lingua franca will contain traces or elements of every indigenous dialect and language we have in Biafra land. It will not be one dominant language. It will have to incorporate or encompass each and every language we have in Biafra land. It's as simple as that. And that will be done. But say we have a Biafra and after 20-25 years, people want to be on their own, then people will now have, let's say for instance in Igbo nation, the lingua franca will be Igbo. In Shekiri nation, the lingua franca will be Shekiri language. In Urobo there's something, in Isoko there's something. Should they wish to go their separate ways? But if we remain as one Biafra, then a lingua franca that will encompass everybody will become very, very necessary and absolutely critical and vital that we develop and disseminate it. Yes.
Okay, sir. My second question is this, my leader. I want to know. I won't say that when Biafra comes, because we are not going to wait when Biafra comes. In case if we are to march tomorrow, what will be the fate of those saboteurs? Because if not because of that Chukwukabiama is with us, believe me, these people can do anything possible to stop this struggle. So, what will be the fate of them in case of tomorrow if we are to march?
Anybody, listen.
Allow them to leave them if we are to march tomorrow.
Listen very carefully to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, and I will say it this once. If we commence our march and any idiot stands in our way or does what Obabi Asika did, they will be killed. Any saboteur, once we raise our flag, once we raise the dragon flag, once that flag is flying, once we raise the banner of war, when the Fulani Janjaweed must have come into our, because we wait for them to come. If we go now to meet them, the British will mount a very serious, deadly propaganda against us to say we are the aggressors. Remember that we are the ones who are proscribed. We are the ones who are tagged terrorists. Despite the fact that those who are killing me, Yetiala, are not terrorists. Once the banner of war is raised to defend our land, every saboteur will be hunted down and taken out. I'm saying it so the whole world can hear it. After all, Americans did the same thing. Once the banner is raised, once they bring the war to our land, which is coming, is inevitable, and the banner of war is raised and we commence our march, any saboteur, wherever you're hiding, will find you and will kill you. It's as simple as that. We're not going to mess around. We're not going to mess around with these idiots. You think what happened before is going to happen again? It won't happen again. We're not going to allow it. Thank you, my dear brother. Thank you very much for that. We will hunt them down regardless of where they are. They should go and cut out what I'm saying now and send it to every diplomatic mission around the world. Tell them what I said from the beginning. Just don't cut out this bit. Once that very flag is raised and we commence our march, every saboteur, wherever you are, you'll be taken out. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter. Let your sympathizers start crying for you from now, because you will not be alive to see the coming of Biafra. That I can assure you. Unless they repent, regardless of who you are. Once our enemies are on our doorstep and we begin to respond, I'm very sorry to say we are going to fight a reactive war, not proactive war, because we have to wait for them to come. And they will come. It's natural. Fulani will always come to try and take over people's land. That is what they do. And then we are going to stop them. Every sabo from then onwards becomes a fair game. I thought I had a caller on the line. This caller, can you hear me? No. But I picked your call. You were not able to say anything. The caller on Skype, can you hear me?
It's natural.
I have heard my voice on the background. Once I pick your call and I hear your voice on the background, I can no longer speak to you. I have a caller on the line. This caller, can you hear me? Your name and where you are, please.
Hello, my leader. This is Samuel. I am calling from Texas.
From Texas. Samuel who? Do you have a surname?
My name is Samuel. I am from Imo State, but I am calling from Texas.
Samuel, what is your father's name? Are you afraid to say your father's name so that we can know who you are?
My father's name is Ugodi, my leader.
Thank you very much. Calling from USA. Please go ahead. We are all listening attentively. Go ahead.
Yeah, my leader. I want to commend you for the work you are doing. The reason why our people have not been overrun by the Fulani Janjaweed is because you are there and IPOB is there. If anything happens to you, if anything happens to IPOB, our people is completely finished. So we are continuing praying for you morning, afternoon, and night for God to continue protect you and to guide you, because without you, our people is completely finished. My leader, I want to commend you for the work that you are doing. May Chukwokike Abiyama continue to bless and protect you for us.
He said, and bless you too. And I want to make this very clear. They know that. The Fulanis know that. If you ask them who they're afraid of, they'll tell us Nnamdi Kanu and his IPO. That's where they put it. And his IPOB. I don't own IPOB. IPOB owns me. For the very simple reason that we are the indigenous people of Biafra. We are not a group. We are a movement of people rising up in unison out of frustration, years of frustration and anger at our plight and how we have been treated in a zoo that was created by a white man. And we are saying no to it. We are saying no to that. And allow me to repeat. Don't think that the Fulanis, the Janjaweed, as Gowon said, are keeping quiet. They will never keep quiet. Gowon said if he had known how much an Igbo man loves money, he would have used money, cash, to scatter Ujupu's Biafra and not go to war. And that's what they will try to do. There are a lot of very hungry, desperate pigs that will collect money to people. Do ritual with their mother. People go to their cult and they say bring your mom, and they bring their mom to be killed. People sacrifice their wives so they can get rich. How about sacrificing ordinary IPOB or betraying IPOB? That was that. It's a walk in the park. It's very easy. People are prepared to give the lives of their mother or their wives in order to get rich. And the Fulani is asking you, take this money and open 4 or 5 fake accounts and be attacking IPOB. Is that one not a piece of cake? That one is very easy. You go to somebody who is a person who is prepared to do anything, including selling women, selling their sisters, in order to make money. And you give that person money and say, please open 4 or 5 fake accounts, be attacking IPOB. Why won't they take it? These are the things that I expect our people to know. But some of you are very foolish. You cannot, as we keep saying about the brain of a black person, you cannot put 1 and 1 together to get 2. Very, very sad indeed. I have another caller on the line. This caller, give us your name and where you're calling us from. We are live and direct, and the world is listening. Go ahead.
My leader, good morning.
Good morning to you, my dear brother. Please, go ahead.
My name is Wens Chisumi
Nkume. Go ahead.
From Iguacha.
Iguacha. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. I just want to something struck my mind.
Yes.
When I heard that what happened at Imo State by Supreme Court Governor, flog our fathers and mothers.
Yes, the pensioners who went to Hope Uzodinma, and Hope Uzodinma called some thugs to come and flog their parents and their mothers. These are the values that we now have in our land, that people are protesting because they've not been paid their pension, and people were hired to go and flog them. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed.
Indeed.
The caller on the line, stay where you are. The evangelist, stay where you are on Skype. I will come to you after this. Evangelist, stay where you are. Don't say a word. Stay where you are. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
And some people will say that we should respect our leaders, political leaders, and all the rest of them. Now look at the outcome of your meeting with Yohaneze that you were so angry over. How can we again trust this kind of people in our land? Or tomorrow somebody will say that IPOB or our leader Mazi Nnamdi is not listening from their elders.
That's what they always say. They say to me, you don't listen to elders, we want you to listen. And people called me and pleaded and said, you must listen. We do it for us. And I did it for them because of them. Now, I didn't want to do it. I did it because of a few people. I mentioned their names. They kept calling. These are people that I respect. I have so much regard and respect for. So I said, because of them, because of these people, I will listen. And I listened. And I did what was expected of me, not knowing that Abuja had direct line to the meeting. It's just unbelievable. That the best thing for them to do is to try to disparage, to try to reduce, to try to diminish IPOB. That was their game plan. And I kept asking myself, if you diminish IPOB, who's going to fight when the Fulanis come? They're going to come. It's only a matter of time. Very short. In fact, they're even in our villages already. Who's going to fight? It's the same IPOB who's going to... The same IPOB you expect to fight. And that same IPOB you want to sell down the barrel. Even before the first shot has been fired in anger. You want to sell down the drain. That is the way they are. And when I say I don't want to deal with them, people don't understand. Anytime I rise up and I say that somebody has a problem, that go and check it left and right, go round the corner, eventually you come to my position that that person has a very serious problem. Please go ahead.
Exactly. On no account, on my own opinion, Mazi, these people should not be called to us meeting again. You should not attend to them again, you should not listen to them again, because this had been their last time and their last chance. The grace has been given to them all this while. Because you cannot be doing
very sad.
To not continue again.
And
keep my leader, keep on keeping on.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you for your call. Thank you very much. That is the last time. Who's going to meet with you? I will meet with them again. Meet with them for what? To discuss what? We have a caller on the line. I presume is an evangelist, if I'm not mistaken. Another woman evangelist. Please tell me where you come from, please. Your name and where you come from.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
I am evangelist Obiano Jora.
Yes.
I'm from Oga, under Anambra State.
Thank you very much.
I'm calling from UK.
From the UK. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. God bless you, sir. I called you, the lion himself, or Amadika the second.
Thank you.
May God strengthen you and give you more to guide you and protect you. Protect your family in Jesus' name. Sir, I have two questions to ask, please, and one contribution.
Yes.
The first question I want to ask is that after what we are passing through on Fulani's hands in Biafra land,
yes,
when we restore Biafra, can there be any mosque in Biafra land?
Yes, there will be mosques, because there will be freedom of religion. People are free to worship anything they want to worship, and as long as what you're building is compliant with the town planning. The town planning division will determine if what you're building is compliant. That is number one. But number two is that nobody will make noise by 5 o'clock in the morning when people are sleeping. All that noise people make, they bring out their speakers outside and be shouting and making noise. That won't happen. There'll be no noise pollution in Biafra land. So they will look for a way to call their faithful to prayers in the morning. We're not going to stop anybody from worshiping whoever they want to worship. That is between that person and his God or her God, as the case may be. But one thing we are going to say, there will be no noise pollution in Biafra land. It will not happen. And any construction or any building will have to be compliant with what the town planning committee says. Those are, if you're coming as a Muslim into our land, you must obey our rules. The same way that if you go to USA, you obey their rules. If you go to the UK, you obey their rules. You come into Biafra land, you will obey our rules. I can't go to Saudi Arabia and start building a monumental cathedral, like trying to replicate St. Paul's Basilica in Riyadh. I won't be allowed to do it. So in Biafra land, of course, you have your mosque, but it has to be compliant with the rules and the regulation of the planning committee. As simple as that.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. And the second one I want to ask again, I'm very sorry. The second one I want to ask again, because where I was working before at House of Fraser, right?
Yes.
There are some Caribbean people that was working with me then.
Yes.
So in that sense, they was asking me, because I remember when I was listening to Radio Biafra, so the word was saying that the question came up. So it was saying about DNA, about those people, those Caribbean people who, So, yes. But my question comes that, what about those people who didn't, maybe they are just convinced they are from Biafra land, But their DNA, or maybe they don't know where they come from, any family or what. So can they still come with us?
Yes, they can. Anybody in the Americas and you're black. We know there are a lot of Oduduwa people who are in Brazil and in Argentina, and I'm sure that Oduduwa Republic will absorb them back, will take them back. But we know our people who are in Haiti, people who are in Jamaica. After all, in Jamaica, they use the word more, which means me. That's what they say in Jamaica till tomorrow morning. So there are aspects of Igbo language, even in Jamaican language itself. Every black American, regardless of where your ancestors were taken from, everybody, if you wish to become a Biafran, you're more than welcome to do so. We'll give you citizenship. And they will have right of entry into Biafra land anytime, any day, anywhere. I know our people are when people talk about land and the space to absorb every black American who may want to come back to Biafra land, what I'm going to say to them is this: we do have enough land. If you look at the land mass all the way from Ondo to Bakassi, from west to east or from east to west, from Ambazonia. Let me not use the word Bakassi. From Ambazonia all the way to Ondo State, and you check it from Ajokuta all the way to the Atlantic Ocean, we have enough land. And our buildings and our construction is going to be so magnificent that we are going to depend a lot on high-rise building, both for habitation and for work. So we are going to have enough land left. We are not going to go back to the old ways of building bungalows all over the place, consuming land for no reason. We are going to build tall, relevant, modern high-rise blocks to house our people. That's how it's going to be. It's going to be a very modern economy that the whole world is going to be very proud of. And we can welcome each and every one of them. They are free to come to Biafra land. Yes. The next question you want to ask, please, or point?
Please, the contribution I was trying to contribute again concerning about the people that are reporting about Muslim people here in this UK. There's something I want to say, but when you said it, they will call you. They said you are under spies in their country. But the truth is that I have to say it. We are working in the evening work under CCTV Manchester, right? So, and if you come there, it's only Muslim people and on top, and they're the one that controlling the whole Manchester. So if you come now, the people that the real origin of British people, there's just few people. But they call it, if you come, they'll say it's British Hazard. But what I'm saying is that, like what is happening to us on social media. So if you come there, like what they're doing in Facebook, people that controlling there, which I know, is Muslim people. So that's why you see always they are blocking us, do all sorts of things. So
yes.
That's what I want to say about that.
I agree with you. Thank you very much for calling, Evangelist. Thank you very much. That is what is happening. They are very forward thinking. The Muslims, I give it to them, they are very forward thinking. They have a game plan. People executing the plan of Othman Danfodio were not born in a time that Othman Danfodio, nearly 200 years ago, said, I will dip the Quran in the Atlantic Ocean. But they groom their children to think like their fathers, that the conquest of the geopolitical space called Nigeria is a must, something they must do. And they are going to look for willing tools like Yakubu Gowon, like some influences we have amongst our people. They are going to look for the likes of the Tinubus to help them to advance. And as they are doing it, it is three-pronged. They are doing it economically, they are doing it religiously, and they are doing it also politically. So what they are doing is they can appoint a governor for you, like the Supreme Court governor of Imo State, and use him as an advance, but you will not know. You won't know that the reason why they gave Hope Uzodinma governorship of Imo State is to advance what Othman Danfodio said nearly 200 years ago. You will not know. But they put him there. From there, Dangote will buy land. Dangote will buy land and they will settle their migrants, all this Janjaweed from the Sahel. By the time you know, they have an emirs that are planning to have in Jos. By the time you know, they will keep going until they get to the sea. And that's it. And one day they will rise up. And once they rise up, Britain will say, okay, since they are there and you're all Nigerians, why don't you share everything into two? And that's the end of you as a race. So what I'm saying to saboteurs, to traitors, to all these efulefus, and to the likes of Hope Uzodinma, is that your actions today will mean, of course, we're going to kill all of them anyway. Your actions today, if we allow it to succeed, will lead to the enslavement of people in the future. This nonsense you're doing, Hausa people tried it. All these things, the Fulefus and all these people, all this rubbish you're doing, the Fulani got the Hausa peasants to do the same thing to their kings. Look at where they are today. So we know who they are. And that is why we cannot spare them. We can't. That is why I want them to cut out everything that I said about, cut it out and keep sharing to the whole world. You can't stop Biafra from coming. Biafra will come. You cannot enter Biafra land. Your generations cannot enter Biafra land. It doesn't matter how much you beg. It doesn't matter. Once you're a saboteur in this generation, you will never ever be forgiven. Never be forgiven. So that you may know that Elohim is with us. That Chukwukika ordained the IPOB to carry out this very work. That is why none of the things the Sabos are doing never work. Yes, your name, we have a caller on the line. No, I can hear my, they don't listen. This UG black people, they don't listen. I said, if you're calling, turn your system down. If you don't, once I hear my voice, I will cut you off. It's as simple as that. They don't listen. Even when they pick up the call, of course, some of them may be listening and waiting for their calls to be picked up. Once I pick up your call, you must know immediately to please go and turn down your listening device. I have a caller again on the line. This caller, can you hear me? Your name and where you are, please. No, not very clear. Not very clear. I have no time to waste. Once it's not clear, I cannot take your call. The caller on the line, can you hear me, please? This one is on Skype. Can you hear me?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Osai Kezia. I'm from Uguta, Imo State, Biafra land.
Osai, the same name that they answer in Igodomigodo, the same name they answer in Igodomigodo. Osai, the same name. Please go ahead, but you're from Uguta. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm a member of IPOB in Indiana Zone 1.
Thank you.
Sir, on 30th of May, our member was arrested in Awuda, and as I speak, they are still in Awuda prison. So I want to know what we are doing about to see their release.
Do you have the name of the person? Because we don't know about this. I know about every detainee, every arrest, and we work very hard to release all of our people. People we arrested in Ahoda and are still in jail. So give me the name of this person, please, or one of them.
Okay. His name is.
Hello. What's his name?
Hello, sir.
His name is what? Oh my goodness. Why is it? Anyway, we're going to check with our other prisons to give us the names of our people. We release our people. The arrest will. Yes. Give us the name. Give me the name, please. And it's very nice. Give us the name of the person. Anyway, we've taken note. Our other prisons. And we are going to go there to make sure that our people, there's going to be an audit of all the prisons in Biafra land, and we need to get our people out. That's what we do anyway. That's our job. We've been doing very well. We went to Akwa Ibom yesterday for a court hearing, and hopefully by next week they'll be set free. We are not leaving our people. And don't worry, the zoo will continue to arrest, to detain, to harass. That is what the Fulani does. They want to intimidate us into submission. But my happiness is that IPOB is of a different breed. We continue what we are doing. It doesn't matter what they do to us. Our freedom is paramount, and that's what we are pursuing, and we're going to get it. The caller on Skype, can you hear me, please? The caller on Skype, can you hear me? No. Network, you have a network problem. It says reconnecting. Your network is not very, very strong. It is not strong at all. Please try and call us back. Try and call us back, please. Try and call us back. This one says here, good morning, my leader. Please, how are we going to put an end to ritual killings and diabolism in our land when Biafra is restored? There will be none. All that nonsense will be shut down. All those useless shrines will be shut down. All those garbage won't exist anymore in the new Biafra. People will be too busy anyway building Biafra, because we are going to build Biafra morning, noon, and night for 75 years. There will be construction going on in Biafra land 24 hours. You see bridges and roads. We'll build them 24. When night comes, we put on floodlight. We'll be building and constructing. Now, let me tell you something. We are going to have series of canals. Go and Google the meaning of a canal. Go and Google it. We're going to have a sewage system that the eyes cannot see. We are going to build underground water treatment plants. These are heavy capital infrastructure. We are going to build tram lines. We are going to build railway lines using steel from Ajokuta, not imported, using steel from Ajokuta, processed by our engineers. There will be so much work is untrue. There will be a grid system. Electricity will be 24 hours a day. We will be getting all these things that they promise you every year. They will put pole, one transformer. We will bring electric wire. Rubbish. We are going to build it every blessed day of our lives. And it is going to be a conduit system. You will not see any electric wire overhead. Everything has to be underground. We are going to make sure that we pipe gas to every home in Biafra land, in every village. There will be gas in every village. That's what we're going to use to cook. We will not be using firewood to cook anymore. So we know what we are doing. By the time we are finished, even Dibia that is doing ritual will be busy at work. When he finishes his day job, he'll be too tired to look for somebody to do rituals with. We know what we are doing. That I can assure you. And I don't want to reveal much because the zoo will copy it. The same way I told them about railway, and they went and started building railways everywhere, but not in the east. It was my idea. I gave it to them whilst I was in prison. I told them what to do in order to boost employment. I never knew they would go to China to go and collect loan to build railway. And I told them how they can fund the railway without any external borrowing. I gave them that idea when I was in Kuje. I gave it to them. They now went and built railways everywhere else, but not in Biafra land. And they will not come out and say openly, it was Nnamdi Kanu that gave us this idea to build all these railways. I gave it to them. I did. Zoological Republic. We are live and we are direct, and the time now is approximately, I should say, I think it's about 18 minutes to the top of the hour. 18 minutes to the top of the hour, please. 18 minutes to the top of the hour. We are live and we are direct. Everybody is going to do whatever they can to try and stop us, but they are not going to succeed. They are not going to succeed at all. I am getting a report here. Enugu monitoring team. I don't know what that means. But what I want all of you to know is that the Janjaweed will come to recruit you. Some of you will be recruited by the Janjaweed. Some of you will. But pray. In fact, if your prayers are not even going to work, pray for yourself because Biafra will come. And all of the idiots who will come to apologize on your behalf, they should see what you're doing. Because anytime, the day we restore Biafra and we start hunting down the saboteurs, anybody who comes and says, please pity them, we know you are also a saboteur and you will go down as well. So there'll be no pity. That I can assure you. And I want them to do all they can to stop us. That's what I love. That's the type of fight I love getting into. I want every sabo, all of you should cooperate as you're doing now. Do everything humanly possible to bring what we are doing down, which I know you cannot do, not in 1 trillion years. The zoo budget for IPOB runs into billions of dollars. We have defeated them. Talk less of you, cockroach, church rat. You are nobody. Absolutely nobody. We are live and we are direct. Let's take this to the call. The caller on the line, can you hear me?
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yes, my name is Osai Kezia. I'm from Uguta.
Yes. I asked you to give me the name. Give me the name of the person who is in jail. That's what I want to know. The name. Alaka Onyedika Chukwu. Chinedu Nnamdi Peter is also in jail. Yes. Ikechukwu is in jail. Who? The fourth person? Felix Samson, yes. Yes. And we are going for them. Today, this morning, we are going for them. Be rest assured, we are going for them. This morning. Thank you very much. Thank you for, if you know where our people are held, not those that went for armed robbery or those that went for kidnapping and they caught them and are now claiming IPOB. I don't want that rubbish. I want IPOB genuine hardcore that we are arrested. We will make sure they get released. We are heading to Ahoda prisons this morning. This very morning we're going there to go and look for them. We don't abandon our own. Those who know the way we operate will know that we never ever abandon our own. We always get our people released. Very, very important. We are live and we are direct 15 minutes to the top of the hour, please. I have somebody here who is writing. Somebody wants to speak on the line and they are begging that I should please call them, but they are unavailable. They said, please try and call, but they are unavailable. I will try once again to see if I can get hold of them, to try and see if I can get hold of them. If I can, then of course I will be able to bring them to you. Our lines have frozen once again. They have frozen. Our lines have frozen. I don't know the reason why that is the case, but our lines right now are not, no, it's frozen. The main line itself is frozen. Very, very sad indeed. But if you do have a question you want to email across, not email, but text across to us, you're more than welcome to do so. And the number to do that on or to do it with is +1 512 9552. On WhatsApp only, please. +1 is a US number. +1 512 9555. Somebody's calling 9552807. Very, very important, please. If you want to text us, that is the number to text. Let's take this very call. The caller on the line, please. Can you hear me? This is Radio Biafra. We are live and we are direct, and the world is listening. Go ahead.
Yes, my able leader, longest time.
Thank you very much.
This is Pastor Chris Wise.
Yes, Pastor. Go ahead.
We met first time at Malaysia.
Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
My leader, hi. God is wonderful. Well, I just want to appreciate God. Yokika Biama himself.
Yes.
When you come close, you know him more.
Of course.
And when you exempt yourself, you wallowed in abject confusions and distractions. Yes. Well, my leader, I am so much glad to get you because I've been trying this very line for quite a decade now. But thank you, Wakaba, that I've connected today after many years.
Yes.
I think that should be 7 years ago.
Yes.
7 years ago.
Yes.
So I thank you. We are praying for you.
Yes.
Relentlessly.
Yes.
We are praying for our restoration. We are praying earnestly, and we have been seeing the effect of what we are doing. And I am so much overwhelmed this very morning. So, but there is this very thing that I want you to do. Bible said that prayer without work is as good as dead, because when you pray, you watch. And at the verge of watching, what are you trying to do? Is to make sure that everything you prayed for, you walk it into existence. Because though we call things name as though they were, but we bring it into existence by our own words. You know what am I trying to say right now is that things are seriously happening in the spirit, because the spiritual controls the physical. It controls the physical. So it is quite adorable anyway. So, but the area that I want us to, a kind of physical as a human being, to look into right now is in the Biafra land, because that is the mainstream. That is where we are dragging with the enemy. Because without the problem that is in the Biafra land, by now we wouldn't have been scattered all over the world. And in this very Biafra land, where we are focusing to restore back our dignity and our identity and who we are, there are so many adversaries. there are so many adversaries that need to be that need to dealt with. Because Okabiama said that so many doors has been opened for you to lead us through, to make sure that this very struggle is being restored fully. But the adversities, they are not there to help you. They are not there to give ideas. They are not there to make headways. But they are there to oppose. They are there to oppose everything, the ideas which you, God has given to you, to make sure that this very struggle is being restored. And these people are sycophants. They are parasites. They stand in the doorway of Biafran restorations. And I know, according to the word of Okabiama in the book of Jeremiah 16:16, said that you will fish them out, and which God has been speaking to you, Okabiama has been speaking to you, and they have been fishing out right now. Because if things that is happening right now has never happened before, and I want to thank you. I want to encourage you more to do more in the areas of the coordinating units, especially in Biafra land, starting from.
Yes, hold on. I have a caller on the line, Pastor Jack. Stay where you are, and the rest of you stay where I'll come back to you after this call. Please go ahead, Pastor. Go ahead. And another pastor is on the line. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So what am I trying to say is that the area, because the Anambra is the mainstream, the head, because when the head is being struck, every other entire body will feel the pain. So I will start with, for over 2 or 3 years right now, there are so many things physically happening, which the report has been getting to you, and I know you are doing something, but those of them that are working with you need to be worked, because if a deliverer that needed not to deliver himself, but he wants to deliver so many people, I mean the coordinating unit in that very place. So we need to look into that very area to do some certain strategical reshufflement and to make sure that things come back to normal, because every one of us started from this very radio. And we started from this very radio. We come in contact and we believe, and we now take an oath to make sure that this very struggle is being restored. And anybody that is using the Nigerian techniques, using the zoos, a kind of platform, using the zoos initiative to coordinate in this very struggle to frustrate members, to frustrate your ideas and your vision, has to be fished out. Because if you listen to some certain reports, you will know that a lot of things are happening. How come, if things are not happening, why is it that some of the radio stations are not functioning, and they will call you to give you fake information that things are working? Because if those areas are working, I work on televisions, I work on radio, I work in so many departments in IPOV. Then, but when you check the traffic of calls that have been coming from various places, you find out that these very areas are not even, they are not in limelight. Many of them, when they called, they will tell you they are not listening to radio. The radio has been down for more than months. And they just strike the line and they got through. They don't know what the topic of the program was. And you find out that these are the system, because let me just tell you, sir, what I want to say is that if you open up a business and God help you to expand and enlarge your coast, and despite the little days of your very beginning, I don't even think that the new one you open can be established fully, because the very old one was the head that supplies the branches that you initiated newly. So all you cannot be able to put back those radio stations in place. I believe that very radio stations, if you cannot be able to put it in place, we are doing double work. We are doing what? Double work. And my own suggestion is that any coordinator that is handling these radio stations, number one, has to be scrutinized. If they are not going to be scrutinized, they have to be removed finally and make these radio stations independent. People will be able to monitor it, and it will be handed over to the media department to make sure that these things work normally. Finally, then my own last plea to you now is that, are you hearing me, sir?
Loud and clear. So is the whole world. Please go ahead.
Yes. My leader, because we met face to face, I know the spiritual anointing you carry, because nobody comes in contact with you face to face without a transformation. So what I want to plead with you now is that if you can anchor this interactive program, at least for once with HMFO, it will do a lot of things. It will go a long way. I'm saying this, I'm saying it from my own heart. If you can anchor this very program, one day with UTMF4, let's see how the enemy will penetrate. And I thank you for the work you are doing. Continue to checkmate the coordinators, because many of them are doing a lot of things. A lot of things are happening. Because when you give a struggle issue to a poor man, you will find out that that very person will be so selfish and materialistic tendencies and aggrandizement, and it will be kind of drawing you back. Because this is exactly what happened to Lot. Lot could not forfeit a little bag from liberation, and she wants to get back to collect the things that she would have left, because where she was going, a lot of milk and honey and a great investment is over there, but because of that little peanut, she was able to kind of destroy herself and turn to the pillar of salt. But that didn't stop their family to continue in what they were doing, and they were liberated. So there are people that are join us back, especially in the coordinating units. As we have said, concerning financial unit, checkmate if they handed over it to 100%, because if not, we are doing double work. Check our radio. And again, finally, remember, if this my request can be accepted by handling Anchor a program with UTMF4, I will be very much
UTMF4 is our deputy. Why do I need to anchor program with him in order to justify something? What are you trying to say? Is there something you know that I don't know?
No, you know everything.
Okay.
I say
because the last time we did a program together, hang on, the last time we did a program together was in the US when I went to Baltimore, and he was there with me.
Yes,
I went for a meeting, and he was there with me. So should the need arise once again, of course, that will happen. I don't know. I don't want the minds of people to be wondering when it shouldn't be wondering. Our focus is on the restoration of Biafra, and that's where we're heading to. And along the way, we are going to smash every vestige of zoo behavior in our people, so that we can be fit and proper to confront the new kingdom of heaven upon the face of this earth, which is the land of Biafra. And I thank you very much that after so many years, we are able to reconnect once again. We are able to reconnect once again. Thank you very, very much for that. And we are moving very speedily to the end of the program this very morning. The time now is approximately 3 minutes to the top of the hour, regardless of where you are. Somebody asked a question, but the name is not here, but I'll go on regardless. The person asked a question. He said, what will be, you said something that you said there'll be no kings. What will be the position of traditional rulers? What is the difference between kings and traditional rulers? The difference in Biafra land is going to be that the traditional rulers are going to be the custodians of our culture and our heritage. As simple as that. The duty of exercising political power will rest with elected officers, because we are a republic. Forget all that nonsense that you have in the zoo. It is a republic, but you have the Sultan of Sokoto. You have all these people who are, nobody knows what it is. You don't know if it is a sultanate. You don't know if it's an emirate council. You don't know if it's a republic. Biafra will be a republic, and a republic means rule of the people, by the people and for the people. That's how it's going to be. All that anomaly we are going to do away with. I don't know if we have a caller on the line. If we don't, of course, the lines are jamming as usual, and predictably so, because a lot of people are trying to get through. Can you imagine somebody trying to call us all the way since 2013? They've not been able to get through. Only this very morning. I have a caller on the line. Can you hear me? The caller on the line, can you hear me? No, they cannot hear me. And on that note, let me see if we can take this one. The caller on the line, can you hear me?
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Please raise your voice for us. Your name and where you're calling from?
Mazi, my name is Wada Ihechupu. I am from Caribbean. I am living in Caribbean.
Which part of Caribbean are you in? Because I know Caribbean is quite a lot.
I am in St. Lucia.
St. Lucia. Are you part of the family in St. Lucia? Do we have IPOB family in St. Lucia? I'm not sure. I'm just asking.
We do not have. We are trying to connect those in Trinidad so that we can join them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thanks for calling. Please go ahead. The world is listening. Go ahead.
Yes. Yes, Mazi, I'm so happy to get you this morning. I have been trying. I have sent text. So we thank you for the work you're doing for us. And this morning I was reading from the Simon Eber's chat that Boris Johnson is issuing a warning to his people not to travel to Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
So all these our world powers, they know the problems that Nigeria is.
Mm-hmm.
So why are they not eager to let Biafra go? They
because
want us
of
to
what they are
perish,
gaining.
and they know.
Because of what they are gaining. They gain free oil and free gas. And who will want to let go? That's what they are gaining. Because Arsenal, there's a saying where we come from. When a place is in chaos, some people are benefiting. The cabals are benefiting. The zoo is in turmoil today, and the Fulani cabal are making so much money, stealing and looting. The same way that a zoo that is a dysfunctional zoological republic, Nigeria, is better for the criminals and the neo-colonialists in Europe and in America, is the simple truth. That is the truth. They are gaining from it. That is why they want it to be. They understand what the coming of Biafra portends for black people all around the world. They know that Biafra is freedom. They know Biafra means liberation for the black man, and they don't want it to come. And the only people that are using to try to stop it to come are the agents of darkness, the Fulani people. Agents of darkness, wherever they go to, there is darkness. That is what they're doing. So the chaos in the zoo, they enjoy it. Because one, they are stealing our resources. And secondly, Biafra will never come. The light of Africa will never be allowed to shine on the lives of those that need it most. It's as simple as that is the truth. And nobody can ever contradict this very assertion. They know it to be truthful, and they know it to be the truth, and there's nothing they can do about it. That is the truth. The zoo is in chaos because they want it. Go ahead.
Are we going to get our freedom if they are behaving that way?
Nobody. That is why that was why I called it the last miracle on this earth. I called it the last miracle for the very simple reason that despite all the machinations and the shenanigans of our enemies, Biafra must be restored because it's a divine mandate from heaven itself. And God created everything that we see around us. And God made Biafra, not Lugard. So Biafra must come. It is the promise from God. If Biafra doesn't come, then there is no God in heaven. Because that's the promise that God made, that Biafra will come. If we return to him, that he will come. And I said to him that there's a lot of things happening. He said, go and get me 100 people only. If they believe very strongly in what I can do, Biafra will come. And unfortunately, I have not met up to 100 hardcore Biafrans. I have not. Forget all the things that you see. I have not met up to 100 people who are like me. Once we get up to that 100, Biafra will come. As simple as that.
Okay, we continue to pray. We support you.
Thank you very much.
There are a lot of saboteurs, Nnamdi and others. They are working
Sabo will
hard.
exist, but they will die. We will set an example with them. We will set an example with our saboteurs that the whole world will hear about it. That in time to come, history textbooks will recall what befell saboteurs in Biafra land. There will be no forgiveness. I want to encourage them to do all they can to stop Biafra from coming, which they cannot do anyway. And then once Biafra is restored, judgment shall befall them. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you very, very much for calling. And we have now, the time now is approximately 3 minutes past the top of the hour. We have come to the end of the program again. Please, if you have called us today, do not call us again next week, Friday. I beg of you. Allow new callers to please air their views and their opinions as well. Very, very important. If you have anything to say to me, you can inbox me, you can write to me, you can call me, or you can leave me a note. If it is very important, I will call you back personally. I thank all of you for listening, but I must make this very point so that the people can understand it. I have said it many years ago and allow me to repeat. Every force working to stop Biafra from being restored is working for darkness, is working for Lucifer, is working for the devil. Because some people believe, especially some of them in Britain, they believe that the coming of Biafra will herald the end of the world. That's what they think. They said that's what they have seen. So it is their job, especially the job of the UK, to make sure that Biafra is not restored. To keep silent as all the mayhem, the slaughter and the murder keeps going on until we capitulate and we surrender to Fulani Janjaweedism, and that's not going to happen. Not under my watch, not whilst we have IPOB all over the world. It can never ever happen. Chukwu Okike Abiama is with us, and this very battle we are winning, and winning it convincingly. The fact that you have some saboteurs and very weak-minded people around us is indicative of the fact that we are doing something exceptional. We are doing very well, and eventually we are going to prevail, not against these non-entities, but against the forces that actually matter. The neo-colonialists, those who are working for Lucifer, direct. We are working for Elohim Chukwu Okike Abiama. We are under divine mandate to restore Biafra, and that's what we are going to do. The battle over the soul of Biafra is a battle between light and darkness. And there is a rising sun in our flag. We represent the children of light, and darkness flee when they see us. I thank you very much for listening. And do not forget what we represent, that to us, Biafra is not just a freedom fighting initiative. It is not just a project. To us, it is a religion. And here on Radio Biafra is where we worship, because Elohim Chukwu Okike Abiama pụrụ m ihe niile is our God. And from me, from here, it is good morning.